Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, December the 16th, 2024. And the moon, which represents the public tone, the general public reactions, will be in Cancer to start the new work week. Cancer is more domestic, nurturing, caring, family-oriented, and this emotional, nurturing moon in Cancer will be in harmony with pragmatic, grounding Saturn by mid-morning Pacific time. So it's a good period to start the new work week. Plus, keep in mind that on the 15th, the day before on Sunday, communication discerning Mercury just went direct. So it's moving in the right direction, but it's moving very slowly because yesterday it wasn't moving at all. And now today it's moving a little faster. So think of Mercury as your mind and your mental faculties. So it's moving forwards, but it is moving very slowly. So your decision-making processes may still be a bit sluggish. Now, on Tuesday, the moon continues in nurturing Cancer. By mid-morning, it's going to be in a very favorable aspect to Neptune. So that emotional tone to Neptune. Neptune is caring, spiritual, healing, idealistic. This could be a time when you're by wanting to really reach out and help those less fortunate. Now, that's mid-morning Pacific time. By 10:35 a.m. Pacific time, the Cancer moon goes void of course until 3:39 p.m., at which point it leaves emotional Cancer and goes into extroverted, fiery Leo. Now, when the moon goes void of course, as I mention usually every week, it means the moon is changing signs, but it's no longer making any aspects to other planets in the chart. So there's no activity. The energy is flat. It's unproductive. So you don't want to, it's like a mini Mercury in retrograde. You don't want to make really important decisions when the moon is void of course. But it's good to just stick to the old routine, keep doing what you've been doing. It's good for reflection. It's good for resting. And then when the moon goes into Leo, Leo is this more outgoing, extroverted, playful energies for those next 2.5 days. On Wednesday, the Leo moon will be in opposition to Venus late afternoon Pacific time. Now, Venus is that planet of union and desire and romance. The moon can represent these emotional attachments. These are two beautiful planets, but they're at cross purposes. Once a month when the moon is in opposition to Venus, which means that you might be you may not feel like you're getting your emotional needs met in a relationship. Something may feel off, but it only lasts for maybe 2 hours. So don't be overreacting because if you think you're getting your feelings hurt or slighted, because this too shall pass. And to add to that, the sun in Sagittarius will be squaring or forming a 90-degree angle of tension to nebulous Neptune. So Sun-Neptune, in this stressful aspect, can trigger a lot of confusion, disappointments, misunderstandings. And then the late afternoon Pacific time with that moon Venus, there might be some real disappointments in personal relationships. On Thursday, the moon continues in extroverted, fiery Leo, but it's going to be in harmony with the sun in Sagittarius in the evening Pacific time. Leo is a fire sign, Sagittarius is a fire sign, they're in harmony. It's triggering a lot of inspiration, a lot of stimulation. And when the moon and the sun are in harmony, things seem to move more effortlessly, more easily. And pleasure-seeking Venus, relational Venus, throughout Thursday, will be in harmony with expansive, optimistic Jupiter. So since it's the holidays, and this Venus that can represent pleasures and socializing, and Jupiter, all this generosity and expansiveness, Thursday evening could be a really good day or good evening to be attending a holiday party. Could also be a good day to be making travel plans, or for the holidays heading out to the airport or the train station, the cruise ship, because Jupiter is that planet of travel and expansiveness, and Venus is all that pleasurable desire. On Friday, the moon is now in Virgo, analytical, sensible, practical Virgo. But it's going to be in a square, a hard angle of tension, to rational Mercury, mid-afternoon Pacific time. So the moon is very emotional and subjective, and it's in tension with Mercury, which can be the more rational planetary influence. So for an hour or two, mid-afternoon Pacific time, conversations may be misinterpreted. You're making decisions. That's the Mercury. You might be more influenced by your opinions, and you don't have a lot of clarity of mind to make the best decisions. But it's only an hour or two. And on Saturday, the 21st, it will be the sun goes into Capricorn. And that's the beginning of winter for the next several months. But on the first day of Capricorn in the northern latitudes, it is called the winter solstice, when the nights are the longest and the day is the shortest. And the moon on Saturday that subjective emotional moon will be in tension with Jupiter. Now, that's around 4, 5, maybe 6 a.m. Pacific time. But that Jupiter can bring a lot of optimism, and the moon is emotional, but having that emotional moon in tension with expansive Jupiter for a couple of hours, you could be having overinflated expectations. You could be eating too much, spending too much. You're really enjoying yourself, but you could be overindulging. And on Sunday, the 22nd, the Virgo moon, that work-oriented job, getting the job done, Virgo moon, will go void of course 5:28 a.m. to 11:08 a.m. Pacific time, at which point the moon leaves more practical Virgo and goes into diplomatic, charming, sociable Libra. And at the same time, that 11:08 a.m., when the moon will be at 0 degrees of Libra. It's in the best flow of energy to introspective, powerful Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So you're going to be able to really start expressing your feelings, the moon, in very profound, deep ways. That's the Pluto. Now, mid-afternoon Pacific time, the moon will be in tension with the sun. That's where you could be off base with your ego desires. But here's the positive. Always look to the positive. The moon represents our instinctual habits and patterns. And the sun is putting the light onto the moon. So it is can be a favorable time for a couple of hours to be more self-aware and recognize your more stuck, limiting habits and help you start to let go of those habits. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.